Have you ever imagined that a simple penny sitting unnoticed in a jar, drawer, or old piggy bank could be worth far more than its face value? What if one ordinary-looking coin from 1981 was hiding a secret that collectors have spent years searching for? Today, we're uncovering the fascinating story of the 1981 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin that many people overlook, yet one that continues to spark curiosity throughout the numismatic world. At first glance, the 1981 Lincoln penny seems completely ordinary. It carries the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Millions of Americans handled these pennies every day during the early 1980s without giving them a second thought. But beneath that common appearance lies a story connected to American history, minting traditions, and the endless treasure hunt that keeps coin collectors searching through pocket change. To understand why the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny attracts attention, we first need to travel back in time. The Lincoln Cent series began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. For decades, Lincoln's portrait remained a symbol of American resilience and leadership, making the penny one of the most recognizable coins in the nation. By 1981, the United States was experiencing significant economic challenges. Inflation had increased the cost of producing coins, and the U.S. Mint was already considering changes to the composition of the cent. Copper prices were rising, and officials knew that the traditional bronze penny might not remain practical forever. In fact, the following year would bring one of the most important changes in penny history, when the mint shifted from mostly copper cents to copper-plated zinc coins. That places the 1981 penny at a fascinating moment in American coinage. It was among the last years of the traditional bronze composition that collectors had known for generations. Every 1981 Lincoln cent contained approximately 95% copper, giving it a weight and feel that many enthusiasts still prefer today. Now let's address the mystery that often confuses collectors: the missing mint mark. Many people assume that a coin without a mint mark must be rare. While that can sometimes be true, the story is more complicated. In 1981, pennies were produced at multiple U.S. mint facilities. Coins struck in Philadelphia generally carried no mint mark, while coins from Denver featured a D mint mark. San Francisco primarily produced proof coins intended for collectors. As a result, the vast majority of 1981 pennies without a mint mark were simply made in Philadelphia. Their lack of a mint mark was completely normal. Millions upon millions were struck that year, making standard examples common in circulation. So why do collectors still search for them? The answer lies in condition, varieties, and errors. In coin collecting, rarity is not always determined by how many coins were minted. Sometimes it depends on how many survived in exceptional condition. Most 1981 pennies entered circulation immediately. They were tossed into cash registers, dropped onto sidewalks, stored in jars, and passed through countless hands. Over time, scratches, wear, and discoloration reduced their quality. Finding a 1981 no-mint mark penny in pristine condition is much harder than finding a worn example. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services can command surprisingly strong prices because so few survive with flawless surfaces and sharp details. The design itself remains one of the most beloved in American numismatics. On the obverse, Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln faces right, accompanied by the inscriptions, "Liberty," and "In God We Trust." The date 1981 appears below. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly between the words, "United States of America," and "1 cent." For many Americans, this design evokes memories of childhood coin collections and the excitement of examining change for hidden treasures. But the real excitement begins when collectors discover unusual mint errors. Throughout the history of coin production, machines have occasionally made mistakes. Sometimes dies become damaged. Sometimes planchets are improperly prepared. Other times, coins are struck off-center or exhibit double details. These errors can transform an otherwise common coin into a highly sought-after collectible. Several 1981 Lincoln pennies have gained attention because of dramatic minting mistakes. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and die-related varieties have all been documented. While most 1981 pennies remain worth only a few cents, error examples can sell for significantly more, depending on their severity and condition. One of the most exciting moments for any collector occurs when a seemingly ordinary coin reveals an unexpected error. Imagine examining a penny that has sat in a drawer for decades, only to discover a striking flaw that makes it unique. That possibility fuels the treasure-hunting spirit of coin collecting. There is also another layer of intrigue surrounding 1981 cents. Because 1982 introduced the transition to zinc-based pennies, many collectors view 1981 as one of the final chapters of the classic copper era. As copper enthusiasts seek examples from the last years before the change, interest in high-quality 1981 cents continues to grow. Auction records reveal an interesting pattern. Circulated examples generally remain inexpensive, often worth only face value or slightly more. However, uncirculated specimens with exceptional grades can sell for dozens or even hundreds of dollars. The rarest examples, particularly those certified at elite grading levels or displaying significant mint errors, can bring even stronger prices. This creates an important lesson in coin collecting. Value is not always obvious. Two pennies that look nearly identical to an untrained eye may have dramatically different market values. Tiny differences in condition, strike quality, color, and rarity can separate a 1-cent coin from a collector's prize. Over the years, stories have emerged of people discovering valuable coins in old collections inherited from relatives. Others have found hidden treasures in coin rolls from banks. While most searches do not produce life-changing riches, the possibility of uncovering something extraordinary keeps the hobby alive. The 1981 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny represents that sense of possibility perfectly. It reminds us that history often hides in plain sight. A coin that once bought a piece of candy now serves as a tangible connection to America's past. It carries traces of economic change, minting history, and the everyday lives of millions of people who used it decades ago. For collectors, every penny tells a story. Some stories are about rarity. Some are about historical significance. Others are about the thrill of discovery. The 1981 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent combines all three in a fascinating way. Perhaps the greatest mystery isn't whether the coin is rare. Perhaps it's how many valuable examples remain undiscovered. Somewhere in an old coffee can, forgotten coin album, or dusty attic box, there may still be pristine 1981 pennies waiting to be found. That possibility is what makes numismatics so captivating. Every coin has a journey. Every scratch, every detail, every mark represents a piece of history frozen in metal. And sometimes the most ordinary-looking coin can become the most interesting of all. So the next time you come across a 1981 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, don't dismiss it too quickly. Take a closer look. Examine its condition. Search for unusual features. You might be holding a simple 1-cent coin, or you might be holding a hidden collectible with a story worth telling. And now the question is yours. If you found a jar filled with old pennies today, would you take the time to search through every single one, knowing that a forgotten treasure could be hiding among them? The year was 1985, and millions of Lincoln pennies rolled off American minting presses just like they had for decades. To most people, they were nothing more than pocket change. Coins tossed into jars, lost between couch cushions, or handed over without a second thought. But hidden among those ordinary pennies was a mystery that continues to fascinate collectors today. A tiny detail, or rather, the absence of one, turned some 1985 Lincoln cents into coins that spark curiosity, confusion, and endless treasure-hunting dreams. At first glance, the 1985 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny looks completely normal. It features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that had become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. On the reverse, two wheat stalks were long gone, replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design introduced in 1959. Nothing about the coin seems extraordinary. Yet for collectors, the missing mint mark raises an important question. Is this coin common, rare, or potentially valuable? To understand the answer, we must travel back into the history of the United States Mint. For decades, Mint marks served as tiny identifiers showing where a coin was produced. Coins struck in Philadelphia traditionally carried no mint mark, while those from Denver displayed a D, and coins from San Francisco carried an S. These small letters helped track production and allowed collectors to distinguish coins from different facilities. In 1985, the Philadelphia Mint produced an astonishing number of Lincoln cents, more than 5 billion of them. Because Philadelphia pennies of that era were not supposed to carry a mint mark, every genuine 1985 penny without a mint mark was actually produced exactly as intended. This is where many people become surprised. Unlike famous mint errors where a coin accidentally lacks a mint mark, the standard 1985 Philadelphia cent was designed to have none at all. Yet that fact has not stopped collectors from searching through old penny jars and inherited coin collections. Why? Because history has taught numismatists that even the most common coins can occasionally hide extraordinary secrets. The 1980s were a fascinating period for Lincoln cents. Just a few years earlier, in 1982, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the penny from mostly copper to a zinc core coated with copper. This transition created multiple varieties and sparked tremendous interest among collectors. By 1985, pennies were primarily made of copper-plated zinc, making them lighter than their earlier copper counterparts. Every 1985 Lincoln cent began its journey as a blank metal disc. These planchets moved through massive minting presses capable of striking hundreds of coins per minute. Under enormous pressure, Lincoln's portrait and the memorial design were stamped into the metal. Most emerged perfectly ordinary, but as with any large-scale manufacturing process, mistakes occasionally occurred. This possibility of mint errors is one reason collectors continue to inspect 1985 pennies so carefully. While a standard 1985 no-mint mark penny is extremely common, error versions can command much higher prices. Off-center strikes, double strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and dramatic misalignments have all been discovered on Lincoln cents from this era. Some of these unusual pieces have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition and severity. Perhaps the most exciting aspect of coin collecting is that nobody knows exactly when the next discovery will happen. A penny that looks ordinary today might reveal an overlooked error under magnification tomorrow. This sense of possibility fuels the hobby and keeps collectors searching through rolls of coins decades after they were minted. The design itself also carries historical significance. Abraham Lincoln first appeared on the cent in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of his birth. It was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. By 1985, Lincoln had appeared on the penny for more than 75 years, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The reverse tells another story. The Lincoln Memorial, depicted on the back, was more than just a building. It symbolized national unity and Lincoln's enduring legacy. If viewed closely, the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial can actually be seen. This remarkable detail means Lincoln appears on both sides of the coin, a fascinating artistic achievement that many people never notice. For most circulated examples, a 1985 no-mint mark penny is worth only a few cents. Even today, collectors can often purchase average circulated specimens in bulk for very little money. However, condition changes everything. Coin grading plays a crucial role in determining value. A penny that spent decades in circulation may show scratches, discoloration, and wear. But a coin preserved in pristine condition can become significantly more desirable. High-grade, uncirculated examples with strong luster and minimal imperfections often command premium prices among collectors seeking the finest known specimens. Auction records reveal just how dramatic this difference can be. While an average 1985 penny may be worth less than $1, top-grade examples certified by professional grading services have sold for hundreds and, in exceptional cases, much more. These aren't valuable because they are rare in quantity. They are valuable because finding a perfectly preserved example among billions produced is extraordinarily difficult. This creates an interesting paradox. The coin itself is common, yet elite condition examples can become genuinely scarce. It's a reminder that rarity in numismatics isn't always about mintage numbers. Sometimes it's about survival and preservation. Another reason the 1985 no-mint mark penny attracts attention is misinformation. Stories frequently circulate online claiming that every 1985 penny without a mint mark is worth thousands of dollars. These claims spread rapidly because they tap into a universal dream, discovering a fortune hiding in everyday change. The reality is more nuanced. Most 1985 Philadelphia pennies are common. However, certain errors, exceptional grades, or unusual varieties can indeed carry substantial value. Knowing the difference requires careful research, magnification, and often professional evaluation. Collectors have spent years studying Lincoln cents because they are accessible. Unlike rare gold coins that may cost thousands of dollars, pennies allow anyone to participate in the hunt. A child with a handful of change can search for varieties just as enthusiastically as an experienced numismatist examining a high-end collection. That accessibility has helped create countless memorable discoveries. Across America, collectors have uncovered doubled dies, transitional errors, and other valuable finds in seemingly ordinary coin rolls. Every discovery reinforces the belief that hidden treasures may still be waiting. The 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln penny represents that spirit perfectly. It is not necessarily valuable because of what it is. It is valuable because of what it represents. A connection to history, a lesson in minting practices, and a reminder that extraordinary stories can emerge from ordinary objects. Think about it for a moment. Billions of these pennies were produced, passed through millions of hands, and scattered across the country. Most were spent without a second glance. Yet decades later, collectors still search for them, study them, and debate their significance. That enduring fascination transforms a simple 1-cent coin into something much more meaningful. So the next time you find an old penny dated 1985 with no mint mark, don't rush to assume it's worthless or priceless. Take a closer look. Examine its condition. Search for unusual features. Learn its story. Because in the world of coin collecting, knowledge is often the real treasure. And who knows? Somewhere in a forgotten coin jar, hidden among hundreds of ordinary cents, there may still be a remarkable 1985 penny waiting to reveal a secret that nobody has noticed yet. Have you ever searched through your spare change and found a coin that seemed unusual? And if you discovered a rare penny worth thousands of dollars, would you sell it immediately or keep it as a piece of history? Have you ever looked at a simple penny and wondered if it could secretly be worth thousands of dollars? Most people would never imagine that a 1-cent coin sitting in a jar, hidden in a drawer, or forgotten in an old piggy bank could attract the attention of serious collectors. But when it comes to the 1990 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, the story becomes far more interesting than most people realize. At first glance, the coin appears completely ordinary. It features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that millions of Americans carried in their pockets every day. Yet over the years, this seemingly common coin has become the center of countless rumors, treasure hunting stories, and collector discussions. Some people believe they have discovered a rare fortune hiding in plain sight. Others wonder whether their penny could be one of the valuable varieties that collectors desperately seek. To understand the fascination surrounding the 1990 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, we must travel back to the year 1990. The United States Mint was producing billions of pennies annually to meet the nation's demand for circulating coinage. During this period, pennies were struck at several facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver. Coins produced in Denver carried a D mint mark beneath the date, while most pennies struck in Philadelphia carried no mint mark at all. This is where many misconceptions begin. Countless people discover a 1990 penny without a mint mark and immediately assume they have found a rare error coin. In reality, a missing mint mark on a 1990 Lincoln cent is completely normal because Philadelphia pennies of that year were intentionally produced without one. In fact, hundreds of millions were made. Yet the story does not end there. Even though most 1990 no mint mark pennies are common, certain examples have captured the attention of collectors because of their condition, unusual characteristics, and rare varieties. The difference between an ordinary penny and a highly valuable one can be surprisingly small. The design itself carries tremendous historical significance. Abraham Lincoln first appeared on the cent in 1909, making him the first real person ever featured on a circulating American coin. By 1990, Americans had already spent decades using Lincoln cents in everyday commerce. The reverse side displayed the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of national unity and remembrance. Hidden within the memorial's columns was a tiny depiction of Lincoln himself, creating one of the most fascinating miniature details ever placed on a U.S. coin. When these pennies rolled off the presses in 1990, no one imagined that collectors would someday examine them under magnification, searching for tiny imperfections and rare varieties. But that is exactly what happened. One of the most talked about discoveries involving 1990 Lincoln cents is the famous no-s proof penny. While this is different from the standard no-mint mark circulation coin, it has fueled much of the excitement surrounding 1990 cents. Proof coins are specially struck for collectors and normally carry an S mint mark when produced at San Francisco. However, a small number of 1990 proof cents were accidentally struck without the expected mint mark. This mistake created one of the most famous modern U.S. coin errors ever discovered. When collectors realized what had happened, demand exploded. These rare proof pennies became legendary almost overnight. Only a limited number are believed to exist, and surviving examples have sold for thousands of dollars at auction. Suddenly, people across America began inspecting every 1990 penny they could find, hoping to uncover a hidden treasure. The excitement surrounding these discoveries created a wave of treasure-hunting stories. Coin dealers reported customers bringing in jars filled with pennies. Families searched old collections inherited from grandparents. Some collectors spent years examining rolls of cents obtained from banks. Most found ordinary coins, but the possibility of discovering something rare kept the hunt alive. Beyond mint mark mysteries, condition plays a major role in determining value. Most 1990 Lincoln pennies entered circulation immediately after being produced. They passed through countless hands, cash registers, vending machines, and coin-counting machines. Over time, scratches, discoloration, and wear became inevitable. However, a tiny percentage survived in pristine condition. These exceptional examples, known as mint state coins, are highly desirable. Professional grading services evaluate such coins using a detailed numerical scale. The difference between a mint state 65 coin and a mint state 68 coin may seem insignificant to the average person, yet collectors understand that each point represents a dramatic increase in rarity. In top grades, some 1990 no-mint mark Lincoln cents have sold for surprisingly strong prices. While ordinary examples are generally worth only 1 cent, flawless specimens certified at elite grades can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on market demand and population reports. This dramatic gap between face value and collector value is one reason coin collecting remains so fascinating. 2 pennies may appear identical to the naked eye, yet one could be worth a fortune while the other remains ordinary pocket change. Another source of excitement comes from error coins. During the minting process, countless things can go wrong. Dies can crack. Coins can be struck off-center. Multiple strikes may occur. Planchets can contain defects. These mistakes transform ordinary coins into collectible rarities. Some 1990 Lincoln cents have been discovered with striking errors that make them especially desirable. Although such examples are uncommon, collectors actively search for them because every error tells a unique story about the minting process. In a way, these mistakes become accidental works of art, preserving a moment when the production system failed in an unexpected way. Perhaps one of the most intriguing aspects of the 1990 penny is the psychology surrounding it. Many people dream of finding hidden wealth in everyday objects. A rare coin represents something magical, a treasure that could have been overlooked by millions of people. Unlike buried gold or ancient artifacts, a valuable penny might be sitting in a coffee can on a shelf. This possibility fuels endless curiosity. Online forums, coin shows, and collector communities regularly feature discussions about 1990 pennies. Questions continue to appear year after year. Is my coin valuable? Could this be an error? What if it has no mint mark? These conversations demonstrate the enduring appeal of numismatics and the excitement of discovery. Professional numismatists often emphasize an important lesson. Knowledge is the true treasure. Understanding mint marks, varieties, grading standards, and historical context allows collectors to separate common coins from genuinely rare ones. Without that knowledge, valuable discoveries can easily be overlooked. For new collectors, the 1990 Lincoln penny serves as an excellent introduction to the hobby. It teaches the importance of research, careful observation, and patience. It also reveals how even modern coins can possess fascinating stories hidden beneath their ordinary appearance. Today, millions of 1990 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies still exist. Most remain common circulation coins worth face value. Yet a select few, whether because of exceptional preservation, rare errors, or unusual varieties, continue to attract serious collector interest. Their stories remind us that value is not always determined by age alone. Sometimes rarity, condition, and historical significance create opportunities where few people expect them. The next time you receive a penny in change, take a closer look. Examine the date. Study the details. Consider the journey that tiny coin has taken over the decades. You may not discover a fortune, but you will be holding a small piece of American history. And who knows? Somewhere, perhaps in a forgotten collection or an old coin jar, another remarkable 1990 Lincoln penny could still be waiting to be found. So here is the question. If you discovered a 1990 Lincoln penny with no mint mark today, would you spend it without a second thought? Or would you take a closer look and see whether a hidden treasure might be staring back at you? The year was 2004, and millions of Lincoln pennies rolled off American minting presses just like they had for decades. Most people spent them without a second thought. They disappeared into cash registers, piggy banks, and couch cushions across the country. But hidden among these ordinary 1-cent coins was a mystery that would eventually capture the attention of collectors everywhere. Some 2004 Lincoln pennies appeared without a mint mark, and for many people, that tiny missing letter raised a fascinating question. Could an ordinary-looking penny actually be worth a fortune? At first glance, the 2004 no-mint mark Lincoln penny seems completely unremarkable. It features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. To the average person, it looks exactly like countless other pennies circulating through American pockets every day. Yet the absence of a small letter beneath the date has sparked curiosity, speculation, and treasure-hunting excitement among collectors. To understand why, we need to travel back through the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first regular United States coin to feature a real historical figure rather than the symbolic Lady Liberty. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin quickly became one of the most recognizable pieces of American currency ever created. Over the decades, the design evolved, but Lincoln remained at its center. By 2004, the Lincoln Memorial reverse design had been in use for nearly half a century. Billions of these coins had been produced, making them one of the most common coins in American history. But collectors know an important secret. Sometimes the smallest details can transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary discovery. One of those details is the mint mark. Mint marks indicate where a coin was produced. During 2004, Lincoln pennies were struck primarily at Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Denver carried a D mint mark beneath the date. Coins struck in Philadelphia traditionally carried no mint mark at all. This is where confusion often begins. Many people discover a 2004 penny without a mint mark and immediately assume they have found a rare error coin. The reality is more complicated. Most 2004 pennies without a mint mark were intentionally produced at the Philadelphia Mint. In fact, billions of them were made. That fact alone might sound disappointing. But the story does not end there. Coin collecting is filled with surprises. Even among common Philadelphia pennies, certain examples can become highly valuable due to unusual errors, exceptional preservation, or unique production anomalies. The minting process itself is a remarkable journey. Massive sheets of metal are punched into blanks. These blanks are heated, cleaned, and prepared for striking. Powerful presses then stamp designs onto both sides of each coin with tremendous force. Thousands of coins can be produced every hour. When everything works perfectly, the result is an ordinary penny. But when something goes wrong, fascinating errors can occur. Some 2004 Lincoln pennies have been discovered with off-center strikes. Others display double dies, where portions of the design appear duplicated. Certain specimens show die cracks, cut errors, or unusual planchet defects. These minting mistakes can dramatically increase collector interest. Imagine sorting through a jar of spare change and noticing that Lincoln's portrait appears slightly doubled, or that part of the design is missing entirely. Suddenly, that humble penny becomes a conversation piece, and potentially a valuable collectible. The search for these hidden treasures has created a modern treasure hunt across America. Collectors routinely examine rolls of pennies from banks, hoping to uncover overlooked rarities. Many stories exist of enthusiasts finding valuable error coins in circulation for only a penny. The excitement comes from uncertainty. Every coin has a story, and every coin might contain a surprise. Another factor influencing value is condition. Coin grading plays a huge role in the market. Most 2004 no-mint mark pennies spent years circulating through everyday commerce. They acquired scratches, discoloration, and wear. Such examples are usually worth only face value. But occasionally, a coin survives in extraordinary condition. Collectors use terms like mint state to describe coins that show little or no evidence of circulation. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin becomes. A perfectly preserved 2004 no-mint mark penny can command significantly higher prices than a worn example, even though both originated from the same mint. Professional grading services examine coins under magnification and assign numerical grades. Small differences invisible to casual observers can mean substantial differences in value. This has led to some surprising auction results. While ordinary 2004 Philadelphia pennies are common, top-grade examples certified by major grading companies have sold for far more than 1 cent. Exceptional specimens with near-perfect surfaces, strong strikes, and attractive color have attracted competitive bidding from collectors seeking the finest known examples. The psychology behind this demand is fascinating. Collectors often pursue complete sets of Lincoln cents. To build the highest quality collection possible, they compete for the best surviving examples of each date and mint combination. Even a coin originally worth 1 cent can become desirable when only a limited number exist in superior condition. Then there are the error coins. A genuine 2004 error penny can be worth dramatically more than a standard example. Values vary depending on the type and severity of the error. Some minor errors may bring only a few dollars, while dramatic and visually striking mistakes can sell for hundreds or even thousands. This possibility fuels endless curiosity among treasure hunters. Adding to the intrigue are the myths that circulate online. Videos, articles, and social media posts frequently claim that any 2004 penny without a mint mark is worth enormous sums. These claims spread rapidly because people love the idea that a fortune might be hiding in their pocket change. The truth is both simpler and more interesting. The missing mint mark itself is usually normal for a Philadelphia penny. What matters is the coin's condition, rarity, and any unusual characteristics it possesses. Knowledge separates genuine treasures from ordinary coins. Yet that knowledge does not diminish the excitement. Every year, collectors continue searching through jars, rolls, and collections inherited from relatives. The dream remains the same: finding something special that everyone else overlooked. There is also a deeper reason why Lincoln pennies remain so beloved. They connect people to history. Abraham Lincoln's image has appeared on the cent for more than a century. Generations of Americans have carried these coins, spent them, saved them, and passed them down. Each penny serves as a tiny artifact of everyday life. The 2004 no-mint mark Lincoln penny represents that connection perfectly. On one hand, it is an incredibly common coin produced in massive quantities. On the other, it reminds us that even the most ordinary objects can inspire curiosity, research, and discovery. Some collectors search for rare gold coins worth millions. Others hunt legendary silver dollars or historic errors. But many began their journey with a simple penny. The possibility that something valuable might be hiding in plain sight transforms everyday change into an adventure. And perhaps that is the greatest mystery of all. A coin worth only 1 cent can spark excitement, inspire collections, and send people searching through forgotten drawers and dusty coin jars. Most 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies will never make headlines. Most will never sell for huge amounts of money. Yet somewhere among the billions produced, exceptional examples and remarkable errors continue to be discovered. The next time you receive a penny in change, take a closer look. Examine the date. Check for a mint mark. Search for unusual details. You never know what story might be waiting to reveal itself. And that raises an intriguing question. Have you ever found a coin in your pocket change that looked unusual or valuable? And could your next penny discovery be the hidden treasure that collectors have been searching for? Have you ever looked at a simple penny and wondered if it could be worth far more than 1 cent? Most people toss pennies into jars, leave them in drawers, or spend them without a second thought. But hidden among billions of ordinary coins are a few remarkable pieces that collectors eagerly search for. One such coin is the 2006 D. Lincoln penny, a modern coin that has sparked curiosity, excitement, and even surprising discoveries in the world of numismatics. At first glance, the 2006 D. Lincoln penny appears completely ordinary. It carries the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design Americans had seen for decades. Yet beneath its common appearance lies a fascinating story of modern minting, collecting, and the hunt for valuable varieties that continue to captivate coin enthusiasts. The story begins at the Denver Mint in 2006. During that year, the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents to meet the nation's demand for circulating coinage. The small D mint mark beneath the date identifies coins struck in Denver. Millions upon millions of these pennies entered circulation, passing through cash registers, piggy banks, and pockets across America. Because of such massive production numbers, most 2006 D Lincoln pennies are worth exactly 1 cent. However, coin collecting has never been only about mintage figures. Sometimes the most ordinary coins become extraordinary because of condition, rarity, or unexpected minting errors. To understand why collectors pay attention to this coin, it helps to look at its design. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln, a portrait originally created by Victor David Brenner in 1909. This design was introduced to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday and became one of the most recognizable images in American coinage history. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly between the inscriptions. If examined closely, one can even see a tiny representation of Lincoln seated within the memorial. This remarkable level of detail made the Lincoln Memorial reverse one of the most beloved coin designs in American history. The year 2006 represented an interesting period for Lincoln cents. The famous Lincoln Memorial reverse was nearing the end of its historic run. Only a few years later, in 2009, the United States Mint would introduce special bicentennial Lincoln designs, followed by the Union Shield reverse beginning in 2010. As a result, many collectors today view the 2060 penny as part of the final chapter of a design that served America for half a century. But what truly fuels collector interest is not the standard coin itself. It is the possibility of finding something unusual. Throughout history, minting errors have transformed ordinary coins into highly sought-after treasures. The 2006 D Lincoln penny is no exception. Collectors have discovered examples with off-center strikes, die cracks, die chips, and other unusual minting abnormalities. While most are minor, some error coins command impressive premiums because they are unique and visually dramatic. Imagine opening a coin roll and noticing that part of the design is missing because the coin was struck off-center. Suddenly, that 1 cent coin may be worth tens or even hundreds of dollars. Stories like these keep treasure hunters searching through rolls of pennies every day. Among the most exciting discoveries are double die varieties. These occur when the coin die receives a doubled impression during its creation process, causing certain letters or numbers to appear duplicated. Although major double die varieties are rare, they generate enormous excitement whenever they are identified. The possibility of finding such an error creates a sense of mystery. Every unopened bankroll becomes a potential treasure chest. Every handful of change carries the faint possibility of containing something extraordinary. Condition also plays a crucial role in determining value. Most 2006 pennies circulated heavily and show signs of wear. However, coins that remain in pristine condition are a different story altogether. Professional grading services evaluate coins using a numerical scale. A coin graded mint state 65 is considered attractive and well-preserved. But when a coin reaches the elite levels of mint state 67, mint state 68 or higher, it becomes exceptionally scarce. This is where the story takes an unexpected turn. While billions of 2006 pennies exist, very few survive in near-perfect condition. Tiny marks acquired during production, transportation, or storage often prevent coins from achieving top grades. As a result, collectors compete intensely for the finest known examples. Auction records reveal an interesting reality of modern coin collecting. An ordinary circulated 2006 penny may be worth only face value. Yet a superb gem example certified at an elite grade can sell for hundreds of dollars. In some cases, exceptional specimens have brought even stronger prices when collector demand was especially high. This dramatic difference highlights one of the most fascinating aspects of numismatics. Value is not determined solely by age. A modern coin can sometimes be worth more than a century-old coin if it possesses extraordinary quality or rarity. The search for high-grade examples has created an entire community of coin roll hunters. Across the United States, collectors purchase boxes of pennies from banks and carefully examine each coin under magnification. Most searches end with ordinary finds, but occasionally, someone discovers a beautifully preserved specimen or an unusual mint error. These discoveries keep the hobby alive and inspire countless enthusiasts to continue looking. There is also a psychological element to the appeal of the 2006 penny. Unlike legendary rarities locked away in museum collections, this coin remains accessible. Anyone can potentially find one in circulation, in an old coin jar, or hidden inside a forgotten collection. That possibility transforms an ordinary penny into a symbol of hidden opportunity. The coin also represents an era when the penny itself was becoming increasingly debated. Rising metal costs led many to question whether producing 1-cent coins remained practical. Discussions about the future of the penny intensified throughout the 2000s, making coins from this period part of a larger economic story. For collectors, every coin tells a tale beyond its face value. The 2006 Lincoln penny tells the story of American manufacturing, historical design, modern collecting culture, and the enduring thrill of discovery. Perhaps the greatest mystery surrounding coins like this is how many valuable examples remain undiscovered. Are there rare error varieties still hiding in circulation? Could a perfect specimen be sitting unnoticed in a child's piggy bank? Might an extraordinary coin be waiting inside a forgotten jar of spare change? These questions continue to drive collectors, researchers, and treasure hunters alike. Today, most 2006 Lincoln pennies remain common. Circulated examples are generally worth only a cent, while uncirculated pieces may carry modest collector premiums. However, certified high-grade specimens and significant error coins can command much stronger values, making them the true prizes collectors seek. And that is what makes the 2006 Lincoln penny so fascinating. It is a reminder that value is not always obvious. Sometimes a coin worth thousands announces itself immediately. Other times, a potential treasure disguises itself as the most ordinary object imaginable. The next time you receive a penny in your change, take a closer look. That tiny copper-colored coin may seem insignificant, but history has proven that remarkable discoveries often begin with the smallest details. So here's a question for you. If you found a 2006 Lincoln penny today, would you spend it without a second thought? Or would you examine it carefully, wondering whether you might be holding a hidden treasure?